This is the Spiritual Tea Report with your host, Hathor Sekma L. And we're going back over Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, Lord Gisselle, Love Triangle Drama, Part 3, He Da Pappy. And if you haven't watched Part 1 and Part 2 of this, go back, watch Part 1, watch Part 2 because there was a lot covered over the last two parts that I went over. And the part two, we went over Lord Gisselle and Stefon Diggs' relationship, and I went into more of a spiritual, in-depth look about them using my numerology. So now we're going to get into part three, where I'm going to circle back around and we're going to look at Charliee. Charliee is his supposedly his daughter. I believe she is. There's too much evidence showing that she is. So we're going to get into this role in which Charliee plays. You got to watch part one to understand why am I talking about the children, because the children are very important to Stefon Diggs' soul contract. So I'm not getting all into all the messiness of the matter. I don't really care. That's their business. I'm getting into more so Stefon Diggs and how he is fulfilling his soul contract as a portal child. I'll go into more of Stefon Diggs and why he's a portal child and the three things that he must obtain in this lifetime to fulfill his soul contract. So go check out part one and check out part two. We're about to get into part three. Enjoy and stick around all the way to the end. If you already watched part one and part two, thank you. Let's get into this. So from what I know of, what was been reported is that Charliee was born on April of 2025. I don't have a date, but I can still look at some things to really see that I talked about the special child being the child that he would, Stefon Diggs would train to be an athlete. And I put up him running with Nova, his first daughter. But that just, that was just very much prolific or prophetic. I'm sorry. That was very much prophetic in my reading, because Charliee is the one he's actually going to train. If we're looking at the numbers of the higher energy, this is somebody with Stefon Diggs. And just take a moment, look at Charliee and Stefon Diggs. Like, come on now. Allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, but that's why I say He Da Pappy. And a lot of people are saying that underneath the comments. You know, you can't take black people serious. We're going to joke about a very serious, hard situation. There's nothing funny about this, but yeah, you know, genetics don't lie, and that's a beautiful thing to see. And it's very much, how are we denying this child? How are we? So many people have gone through this. But anyway, getting back to Charliee and Stefon Diggs' relationship, is that he is very much a force psychologically for her in the nurturing department. We talk about the moon energy is something where he's really building, he's going to build upon her identity of who she wants to be. I'm sure he's going to start seeing that she needs some training. He knows he needs to be there and be a disciplinary, play a disciplinary role. And she may not like that, but she needs it. So he's kind of going to be like Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad to this little girl Charliee, and she knows that he really does something special for her. He's definitely going to take care of this child. He is that in the positive. He's giving her information, but he's also making sure that she has the opportunities in the home and anything with her feelings. He's going to give her all of that. It's just going to be hard for them spiritually because of him needing that control, and her very much going to be a child that pushes back and wants to really stand on who she is. She's a middle child. Most times middle children can be problematic. I know that for myself, but she's going to be very special. And we just see with their natural, how they deal with each other upon earth, is that he is somebody who This child is tied to him from past lives. This child is somebody who needs order from him. She's gonna really receive the good and bad of, you see those tiny eyes? Those tiny eyes that Stefon Diggs has and his daughter have is their bosses. They are leaders, and that's going to be tried with this little one, Charliee. And there's going to be some things that Stefon Diggs learns about himself with Charliee. And I see that in the positive energy is this discipline, this order, this past life love and continuance of her being an athlete. It's going to be a positive thing. It's going to be a positive thing, but it could be hard because she's always going to want to do her own thing, as I've already said. And then with the lower energy, the communication could be not the greatest because her father, Stefon Diggs, he's going to be one who stands on business. But him being that boss, he has a child that's very much a boss in her own right, and she will sometimes oppose his energy. But all in all, this is his special child. And then we have Cardi B's baby that she announced September the 17th. We're going to briefly get back into Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. I'm probably not going to go too much into them because I'm like, hey, go back and support the spirituality of Cardi B and the twins. Even if you just watch part two, repost it, share it. Love the support if you actually are listening all the way through, because I know people's attention spans sometimes is a little, y'all don't want to stay for a long time. So I'm going to show you a good time, and we're going to get into Stefon Diggs and Cardi B and look at them briefly. So we're going back over this, and I'm just going to do this a quick love reading on Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. If you didn't catch Cardi B and the twins, part two is that Cardi is a Libra, and how her birthday breaks down, it breaks down to 1 11 3 in my soul contract numbers, but I believe it is 10 October the 11th 1992. She's 32 years old. And then we have Stefon Diggs, who is a 11/11 portal child. And, I already said his birthday, November 29th 1993. He is 31 years old. They're all in a time where they came out of the Saturn's return. And they should be, they should be looking to settle down. 20s was your fun time to bounce around. Stefon Diggs needs to find a mate. He needs to find that woman, and life will be smooth sailing for him. I feel like he's going against the program and probably really knows that he needs to stop bouncing around and having children after these three. I hope that's the case, but none of my business. No judgment here. But we're going back to uh, Stefon Diggs and Cardi B and how they nurture each other. Their moon energy is very high energy. This is where you got the baby from. They really tune into each other. Stefon Diggs likes to talk with her with this high energy. It's positive to him. It makes him want to communicate. Big difference from Lord Gisselle, where he wants to get away from the communication. He wants to talk to Cardi. And Cardi, when he talks to her, she feels more grounded in her energy, and she really feels like he sees her, he supports her, he loves her. And um yeah, sometimes Cardi B is larger than life, and there is some times where she feels good, but Stefon kind of feels like he's a person who has to kind of sink in the background and let her shine. And that can sometimes be negative in a way for him because he's a star in his own right. He's an athlete. The part where they come in together really nicely is the way they think. They think the same way. They both like to be student teacher. I've said that before when I went into their energy, is that they would do good going on dates where it's like they have to crack a mystery, and those type of things that they need to do together is learn together. Like they probably were more than likely in past life were students in the same class type of energy. That is good for their psyche. they really know how to do business and work with one another. They would make good business partners. They are definitely still past life. And, he was meant to come around. Anytime you make a child, that's already a contract before you even come here. And, Cardi and Lord Gisselle were a part of Stefon Diggs' ascension. His ascension that he has to fill with his soul contract, he is a portal child. Because what Lord Gisselle has in common with Cardi is they are both born in the same year, so that makes them every year have the same similar energy. She's a Libra, Cardi B's a Libra, and Lord Gisselle is a Taurus. So how they deal with these numbers is differently, but it's still very much a similar energy, where he was transitioning this year with Lord Gisselle, and they are rivals with each other. That's the energy right now with them. But they have this, Cardi and her have the same energy for 2025. This is where I say that yes, they are in transition with each other, where Cardi and Stefon are in this spiritual energy as well. The energy is we come from these two different worlds. We're trying to see where things are at. But it's still a duality. So with him having a duality with both of them, I see it as there's some flip sides where he had one part with Lord Gisselle, and then he has this one part with Cardi, where it's a lot of duality. And um yes, there is unions, but in a negative, it's really hurting each other's identity. Where Cardi is pregnant now, she's supposed to be going on tour. She's supposed to be she has an album. Am I the drama? Would I say she's the drama? Yes, because I tried to show before, and the twins thing is Cardi is still healing. She's still healing from the relationship with Offset, and the divorce hasn't been final. So sometimes they say you to move on, you get under somebody else. um the same could be very much true for Cardi, is that because she wasn't healed, she went for uh the different body, but same aesthetic. And very much Stefon Diggs and Offset have very much a lot of similarities, but vice versa. When I'm talking about this duality, you see, he thought he was getting something different and leaving Lord Gisselle off in the wind with the baby, and got Cardi. So he's only in a repetition, he's in a repetitive flow. So yes, I stand on business when I say that next year there's a potential breakup. Although Cardi chose to have this baby, that does not make it that they're going to stay together in 2026. It just means that they made an agreement from a past life to have this child that helps Stefon Diggs with his ascension, with his completing part of his soul contract. But he has to find the wife. And I don't see the wife in Lord Gisselle, and I don't see wife material in Cardi. And there was a part where Offset that said, he said that Cardi, well, it wasn't really Offset. It was Cardi said this in her new album, how she was choosing her work. She was choosing her career over Offset. 2026, Cardi's going to choose herself. She's going to choose her work. She's in work mode now. Her and Lord Gisselle are in the year of 3 right now. So it's that up and down energy. Up and down, good and bad. They're in it. Cardi is going to get into that 4, and she's going to get into her career and the touring and all of that. And it's going to be more so, it's about her. And this is where that separation could definitely happen if if there's no communication between these two. And Stefon Diggs is not getting the communication he needs. And it feeling like they have some order with each other. He's not going to stick around. And when she's trying to be her, they are going to bump heads. Cardi is going to not, she's not going to like that. She's not going to be feeling that if he starts feeling slighted about them not being together as much. Because when they come together, when they do come together, because there's going to be a lot of separation, there would need to be a game plan. If they can't communicate, and Stefon Diggs is doing some of that offset type of energy, it's just going to be triggering, and it's going to make Cardi B go her way. She's already going to be full of hormones and emotions with the baby, and I do see her the baby is not something that's going to keep her there. And obviously with Stefon Diggs, he's having children. You can look, the proof is in the pudding. Let's pull that back up. The baby, He Da Pappy, and congratulations to Cardi B on her album. I do feel like she still has some healing to do, and hopefully in 2026 she will get that healing. And Stefon Diggs, it's time for you to find that wife. And if I could get Nova's mother's birthday, if anybody has that, it's going circulating around, that is the mother's name is Tyler Marie. I've seen a couple of pictures of her, but I don't have her birthday. Comment below if you listen to this all the way, and if you can find Nova's mother's birthday. Then I can see if Nova's mother is the actual one he's supposed to be with. Because I say this is because when you are a portal child, usually you find your mate early, but more than likely you'll go against it because you're so young. You may not even believe in it. Um, some portal children luck out, and they do right off the bat marry young, know that that's their mate. But some people don't, and I think Stefon is kind of confused. And it's time for him to grow up. Wishing everybody the best, and the entire family and Cardi B. No shade. I only present what I see, and this is the Spiritual Tea Report with your host, Hathor Segment L. Stay tuned for more.